Hello everyone, and welcome to this week's update video. This week we are going to be answering the questions you guys send us concerning the area ownership. As usual, I have to tell you that we are in early access. All the game concepts we are working on are very much under development. We are iterating quickly on our ideas, and everything that we are talking about today is subject to change. So the first question we received is, why square areas? Why not dynamic areas? Why not Voronoi cell diagram areas? And various permutations thereof. This was our most popular question, asked by the most people, and the reasons for this are multiple. For starters, our planet data structure innately supports square areas. This allows us to iterate a lot faster on the concepts, and this means that we dramatically shorten the development time of the entire game concept. The game concept still has to prove itself, so we didn't want to spend months and months and months developing a complex system that in the end may or may not be fun. And if it's not fun, we would have to scrap it, and that's a lot of development time wasted. Additionally, square areas are more intuitive to represent to people. If we use round areas, people have to think like, okay, so what about this little section in my castle? Is it still under my control? Or worse yet, when areas start overlapping, how do we deal with that? Altogether, it's just easier for everyone involved if we use the square areas. It also applies that the areas have to be fixed. And this too allows us to do other very interesting gameplay mechanics that I am not yet revealing, but they will be coming. So the next question. How will players in the game know where an area for claiming starts and ends? So this question comes from the fact that if you are placing your block in the world, you don't know where in the area you are. But that's actually not true. We will be rendering, at least in our initial implementation, we will be rendering some kind of outline around the area. This will allow you to see where the area begins and ends. So the third question, can I move my claim block? Right, so the short answer for that is no, you cannot. We have decided that in the initial implementation, we are just going to require you to think carefully about placing your claim block. This means that if you want to move it, you have to find your new location, you will have to deconstruct your old block, you have to rebuild your new block, and your area will go into contested for another 10 minutes. This means that players will have access to your castle during the contested period. So you have to think carefully about where you place your claim block. If it was easy for you to just move your claim block, that could make it very unfair for attacking players, because it's already pretty hard to find the claim block, and if it's even able to move around, that's going to be very difficult to siege your castle and take it out. That said, we are of course maybe iterating on this concept, so who knows what will come up with in the future. But in the first implementation, it will not be possible to move your claim block. The next question is about the taxes. What will the taxes be? What will we be paying? So I saw on YouTube and on the forums that there was some confusion. Don't worry, the taxes will not be paid with in-game microtransaction money. You will not be like paying real money just to pay the upkeep for your claim block. It's really going to be some in-game mechanic. So in the first iteration, we'll probably allow you to pay with any resource as a tax. So let's say logs and stones are worth 1 resource point. Really manufactured stuff is worth 4, 5, maybe 10 resource points. And in the future, if we introduce gold or any other valuable resources, they might max out the entire claim block's tax period in one go. Question number 5. How do I claim an area in an intersection of 4 claimable areas? That's actually quite simple. The area that the claim block will be claiming is the area in which the center point of the claim block is in. So if you have, like, let's say this is your area and you put your claim block like this, the center point will be on this side, so it will claim this side of this area. This area will require a different claim block. This also means that if you have like a square like this and you put a claim block in each of the 4 corners, you can build a single castle to defend 4 whole sectors. Question number 6. How do you prevent the gameplay from devolving from attack and defend castles to attack and defend claim blocks? So actually the point of a castle is to defend something. Back in the old days, when people were sieging castles, they didn't tear down the entire castle. They broke the doors, or they just caused enough damage so that they could get into the castle, and then they would kill the lord, thereby taking the castle. So in this case, instead of having a lord, since you can just respawn anyway, people can kill your claim block, and then your castle is lost. Additionally, there are some other game mechanics at play that we haven't revealed yet that will affect the way you will be sieging and attacking castles. Question number 7. Will we see derelicts like in Space Engineers and maybe some barbarian stronghold? Now, we did implement the area ownership in such a way to support NPC land ownership. And this will include all the area rules, such as being unable to build in their lands, dig in their lands, deconstruct in their lands, which means that if we add barbarian-owned castles, you would have to siege the barbarian castle, you would have to find their claim block and destroy it before you can use this area to pass through or build in it. However, we haven't yet had the time to actually implement any of this or work on this as a gameplay feature. So right now it's just like design ideas, but we haven't actually gotten to building or implementing any of this. And now for the last question, question number 8. How will we deal with people destroying castles when you are offline? That's actually a very good question, and we do have a design for it. Right now we are considering implementing a world setting that will allow the server admins to set that castles that are owned by a player who is offline are indestructible. This will include things like, what about if his faction members are there to defend it? What about this? What about that? It's going to be optional, but it's not implemented yet, it's not even like fully designed out yet. But we are definitely considering some feature to protect your castles when you are offline, since it'll be like you cannot hide behind an asteroid 50,000 kilometers away from the center of the galaxy, like you can in space. Well, that was it for this week's video. I hope you enjoyed the answers I gave on your questions. And if you have any more questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. I hope you will enjoy the next episode in our ongoing storyline, and I'll see you all next week. Ciao!